The desert night was alive with whispers. The stars stretched endlessly, burning like watchfires of heaven, while the wind carried the dry scent of stone and sand. There, upon Mount Sinai, Moses stood trembling, wrapped in awe as the heavens split open above him. The mountain groaned, the rocks shuddered, and the air was thick with fire. From the blaze descended the angel of the presence, bright as lightning. Yet calm as the still waters of Eden, his voice was not like the roar of thunder, but like a stream that cut through stone, patient, powerful, eternal. "Moses, son of Amram," the angel said, "write the words that I shall reveal to you, for they are not only for Israel but for the generations yet to come. These are the hidden chronicles, the divisions of times, the jubilees of the world." Moses fell to the ground, covering his face. But the angel lifted him gently and set before him a vision, and Moses beheld the beginning of everything. Darkness stretched like an endless sea, until the word of the Most High thundered, "Let there be light," and light was born, radiant and sharp, dividing day from night. The angel spoke. This was the first day of the first week in the first Jubilee, when time itself began to walk. Moses saw the vault of heaven stretched out like a tent of sapphire. He saw waters gathered and dry land emerge, clothed in grass and fruit-bearing trees. Then came the great lights, the sun bold and blazing, the moon pale and faithful, the stars countless as grains of sand. The angel's voice wove meaning into the vision. Everything was created with order, Moses. Nothing was by chance. The world was built in sevens, for 7 is the measure of completeness, and all creation sings in its rhythm. Then beasts roamed the earth, flocks grazed the meadows, and birds soared above. The waters swarmed with fish like flashing silver. But all was waiting for the crown of creation, and then the Eternal One formed man from the dust. Moses saw Adam rise, the breath of life glowing within him. He was not merely flesh, but flame, bearing the image of his Creator. The angel said, "Adam was set as ruler over all the earth, yet not to rule in pride, but in stewardship. And beside him, from his own bone, was given a companion, Eve, mother of all the living." The vision shifted, and Moses beheld Eden, rivers flowing like glass, trees heavy with fruit, and the tree of life blazing at its heart. The garden was radiant with colors no mortal eye had seen, but the angel's face grew grave. "Know this, Moses, paradise was entrusted to Adam, yet he strayed. For the serpent, twisted and cunning, beguiled Eve, and she ate of the forbidden tree. Adam also ate, and the shadow of death entered creation. Thus were they cast out east of Eden, clothed in skins, wandering the earth." And the angels wept. Moses trembled as he saw Cain rise against Abel, the first blood crying out from the soil. From the beginning, Moses, light and darkness, struggled within the heart of man. But the Most High did not abandon his creation. He set times and jubilees that his purpose would not be lost. The angel spread his hand, and Moses saw the unfolding ages, Noah building the ark, Abraham gazing at the stars, Jacob wrestling in the night. He saw nations rise and fall, kingdoms swallowed by dust, and always the hidden hand of the Eternal guiding his people. The angel leaned closer, his words burning like fire. "You will write these things, Moses, for men know fragments, but here is the whole. These are the secret divisions of time, the jubilees from the first creation until the final day." And with that, the vision sealed itself in Moses' heart. The desert wind howled again, but now it carried the echo of eternity. The Book of Jubilees had begun. The angel's hand lifted again, and Moses beheld a world swelling with violence. The sons of men multiplied upon the earth, but so too did their corruption. Giants were born, towering and fierce, the offspring of angels who had abandoned their place to take the daughters of men. They taught mankind the secrets of sorcery, the forging of weapons, and the shedding of blood. The earth groaned beneath their weight, and the heavens darkened with grief. The angel spoke with sorrow in his tone. Every thought of men was only evil, unceasing like a river of poison. The Creator looked upon the earth, and it was filled with wickedness. He decreed an end, not to destroy forever, but to cleanse and renew. Then Moses saw Noah, a man righteous in his generation, who walked with God when all others mocked. His hands were rough from labor, yet his eyes burned with faith. The Eternal One whispered to him, "Build an ark of gopher wood, for waters will cover the earth, and only you and your house shall be saved." Noah obeyed. Day after day, under the sneers of his neighbors, he hammered and shaped the colossal vessel. His sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, worked by his side, while their wives prepared food and provisions. Animals began to appear, guided by unseen hands, lions trembling yet docile, doves gentle as the dawn, serpents crawling in silence. All entered the ark 2 by 2, until the great door was sealed. Then the skies opened, rain poured in torrents, fierce and unrelenting, as fountains burst from the depths below. The sound was like the roar of an army, drowning the cries of men, as waters swallowed valleys and cities. Giants thrashed in vain, mountains vanished, and all flesh perished, save those within the ark. For 40 days and nights the storm raged. Noah's family clung to the vessel as waves like mountains struck its sides. Yet the ark did not break, for the hand of the Most High steadied it. At last the rains ceased. The waters lingered, rising above the peaks, then slowly retreating. The ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat, cradled in silence. Noah sent out a raven, black as judgment, but it did not return. Then he sent a dove, and it returned with an olive leaf, green, fresh, a sign of peace. His family wept with joy, for life had survived. When the earth dried, Noah built an altar of stone. Upon it he offered sacrifices, the smoke rising like incense into the heavens. The angel said, "And the Most High smelled the offering, and he was pleased." He swore never again to flood the earth, and he set his bow in the sky as a covenant forever. And Moses beheld the rainbow, bending across the horizon like a bridge between heaven and earth. But the vision grew darker once more. For Noah planted a vineyard and drank of its wine, and in his drunkenness lay uncovered. Ham, his son, mocked him, but Shem and Japheth walked backward with the garment, covering their father with honor. The angel's voice grew stern. From that day, a curse fell upon Canaan, the son of Ham, while blessings were given to Shem and Japheth. Nations would rise from these sons, and the earth would again be divided. Then Moses saw the scattering of peoples after the Tower of Babel, their tongues confused, their pride broken. But through it all, the line of Shem carried a promise, a seed chosen for the future. The angel concluded, "Though mankind fell into sin, the Eternal preserved a remnant." The story of Jubilees is not only judgment but hope. For within every Jubilee beats the mercy of God. The vision faded, leaving Moses with the taste of salt and rain upon his lips, as though he too had ridden the ark upon the endless waters. The vision opened once more before Moses' eyes. He saw a land far to the east, wide plains beneath burning skies, where men built idols of stone and bowed before them. And in the midst of this land, a man named Abram rose like a flame among ashes. The angel of the presence spoke. Abram, son of Terah, lived in Ur of the Chaldees. His people worshipped carved gods, but within him burned a question: who made the heavens? Who stretched out the stars? And because his heart sought truth, the Most High chose him. Moses beheld Abram gazing at the night sky. The stars shimmered like diamonds spilled upon velvet. Then came the voice of the Eternal, "Leave your father's house, your kindred, and your land. Go to the place I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation. Through you all families of the earth shall be blessed." Abram obeyed. He gathered his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their servants, and they journeyed westward, walking not by sight, but by faith. Through deserts and mountains, through famine and strife, he pressed on, driven by a promise unseen. Moses saw Abram build altars wherever he pitched his tent, not for idols, but for the invisible one, the creator of all. Smoke from his offerings rose into skies where once silence reigned, now filled with prayer. But the angel's voice warned, "The path of the chosen is not without trial." Abram endured famine and sojourned in Egypt, where fear led him to call Sarai his sister. Kings contended with him, servants quarreled, and Lot departed to dwell in Sodom, a city dark with sin. Yet through each storm, Abram returned to the promise, like a sailor to his compass. Then came the covenant. Moses trembled as he saw the vision, Abram cutting animals in sacrifice, laying halves opposite one another. The sky darkened, dread fell, and a smoking furnace passed between the pieces. The Eternal declared, "Know this, Abram, your descendants shall be strangers in a land not theirs, enslaved 400 years. But afterward I shall bring them out with great substance, and they shall return to this land. Look at the stars, so shall your offspring be." And Abram believed, and it was counted to him as righteousness. Yet even as faith burned, shadows lingered. Sarai, barren in her old age, urged Abram to take Hagar, her Egyptian servant. From her was born Ishmael, a wild son destined for conflict. The angel sighed. Man often strives to fulfill the promise by his own hand, but only the Eternal's word endures. Years passed until Abram's name was changed to Abraham, father of many nations. Sarai became Sarah, and in her old age she bore Isaac, the child of laughter. The promise had flesh, a living heir of covenant. But then came the greatest test. Moses shuddered as he saw Abraham rise early, Isaac walking beside him, carrying the wood of sacrifice. The mountain loomed, Moriah, silent and foreboding. Abraham's face was carved with sorrow, yet steady with obedience. "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, and offer him as a burnt offering." Upon the altar, Isaac lay bound. Abraham raised the knife, his heart torn yet unwavering. At that instant, the angel of the Lord cried out, "Abraham, do not lay your hand upon the boy, for now I know you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son." And behold, a ram was caught in the thicket, its horns tangled. Abraham sacrificed it instead, naming the place, "The Lord will provide." The angel's voice thundered like a blessing, "Because you have obeyed. Blessing I will bless you, and multiplying I will multiply your seed, like the stars of heaven and the sand of the sea. In your seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed." Moses' heart ached with wonder, for in Abraham's faith he saw the pattern of Israel itself, tested, stretched yet chosen for glory. The vision shifted. Abraham was old, and Sarah was buried in the cave of Machpelah. Yet Isaac lived, Jacob would rise, and the line of promise flowed unbroken. The angel whispered, thus were the Jubilees set in motion. From Abraham came the covenant people, bound to the Eternal not by blood alone, but by faith and obedience. The story marches forward, Jubilee to Jubilee. The vision closed, and Moses stood again upon Sinai, the echo of Abraham's knife still sharp in his memory. The angel stretched out his hand once more, and Moses beheld the days of Isaac's sons, twin brothers stirred within Rebekah's womb, wrestling even before birth. And the Eternal declared, "Two nations are within you. One shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger." Esau came first, red, fierce, a man of the field. But Jacob followed, grasping his brother's heel, his eyes already fixed upon destiny. The angel said softly, "Jacob's name means supplanter, yet he was chosen not by strength of arm, but by the mystery of divine will." Moses watched Jacob grow, dwelling in tents, thoughtful and patient, while Esau roamed the wild, swift with the hunt. One day Esau returned famished, and Jacob offered stew in exchange for the birthright. Esau despised it, but Jacob, though cunning, desired the promise more than a full belly. Later came the blessing. Isaac, aged and blind, laid trembling hands upon Jacob, clothed in Esau's garments. The words of inheritance fell upon the younger son. When Esau discovered the deception, his rage burned like fire, and Jacob fled into exile. The desert night swallowed him as he wandered alone, weary and fearful. He laid his head upon a stone, and then heaven opened. Moses trembled at the sight. A ladder rose from earth to sky. Upon it angels ascending and descending like sparks of fire. At the top stood the Eternal, declaring, I am the God of Abraham and Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and your descendants. I am with you and will not leave you until I have fulfilled what I have spoken. Jacob awoke, his heart pounding, whispering, Surely the Lord is in this place. And I did not know it. He named it Bethel, house of God. The vision shifted. Jacob came to the house of Laban, where he met Rachel, radiant as dawn. He labored 7 years for her hand, but Laban deceived him, giving Leah instead. Yet Jacob endured, laboring 7 more years, until Rachel was his. From Leah, Rachel, and their handmaidens came 12 sons, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. 12 roots of a mighty tree, 12 stars of a coming nation. But Jacob's days were not without strife. His flocks multiplied, his sons quarreled, and envy burned when Joseph, beloved of Rachel, received the coat of many colors. The angel whispered, Jacob sowed with cunning, and he reaped strife. Yet through the fire of trials, his line was shaped into a people. Then came the night of reckoning. Jacob returned toward Esau, fearing vengeance. Alone by the river Jabbok, he wrestled through the dark with a man, yet not a man, but one clothed in mystery. They struggled until dawn, Jacob clinging with unyielding grip. Let me go, the figure said, for the day breaks. But Jacob gasped, I will not let you go unless you bless me. Then the figure touched Jacob's hip, wrenching it from its socket. Yet still Jacob clung. The voice declared, Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men, and have prevailed. And Jacob limped into the sunrise, bearing both pain and promise. Moses' heart quivered as he saw it. The angel said, This is Israel, Moses, not the perfect, not the unbroken, but the one who clings even in weakness. The nation born from Jacob will stumble, deceive, and suffer, yet it will not let go of its covenant. That is its strength. The vision leapt forward. Moses saw Joseph sold by his brothers, descending into Egypt, yet rising to power. He saw Jacob weeping, then rejoicing when the family was restored. He saw the 12 sons standing before Pharaoh, their descendants multiplying like stars, filling the land of Goshen. The angel concluded, In Jacob's story, the foundation of Israel is laid. 12 sons, 12 tribes, 12 pillars of covenant. His struggle is their struggle. His name, Israel, will rest upon them forever. The vision closed, leaving Moses shaken, as if he too had wrestled by the river and limped away, marked by glory and pain. The vision blazed brighter, and Moses now beheld his own beginning, a land of Egypt stretched before him, its rivers glistening, its temples towering with idols. Yet beneath the shadow of Pharaoh's throne, the children of Israel groaned in bondage. Whips cracked, tears fell, and prayers rose like smoke from a furnace. The angel's voice trembled with gravity. The promise spoken to Abraham came to pass. His seed grew mighty in number, yet they were enslaved in a land not their own. But the appointed Jubilee drew near, and the Most High remembered his covenant. Moses saw a child placed in a basket of reeds, drifting upon the Nile. Pharaoh's daughter drew him out, naming him Moses, drawn from the water. Raised in palaces of gold, yet bearing the blood of slaves, Moses' heart burned with conflict. He slew an Egyptian, fled into the wilderness, and thought his purpose lost. But then came the mountain. A bush blazed with fire, yet was not consumed. From it came the voice, I have heard the cry of my people. Go, Moses, to Pharaoh. Say to him, let my people go. Moses trembled, yet the voice gave signs. Rod to serpent, hand leprous and healed, water turned to blood. Aaron, his brother, was given as his mouth. Reluctant yet chosen, Moses returned. The vision thundered with plagues, waters turned red, frogs swarmed, darkness smothered the sun. Pharaoh's heart hardened until the night of judgment fell. The angel whispered, "The blood of the Lamb marked their doors." The destroyer passed over them. This was the first Passover, the night of deliverance. Israel fled, carrying unleavened bread, pursued by chariots. At the Red Sea, waters parted, rising like walls, while the people passed on dry ground. The sea closed again, swallowing Pharaoh's hosts in a roar like thunder. Then Moses saw himself upon Sinai, flames crowning the mountain. The people trembled below, the air thick with trumpet blasts and smoke. Into the fire he ascended, swallowed by cloud, where the angel of the presence revealed the law. "Hear, Moses," the angel said, "the Eternal bound his people not by chains, but by covenant." The 10 words were given, commandments to guard the heart and guide the way. Sabbaths were set, feasts appointed, years counted by jubilees, so that all time itself would remind Israel of its God. Moses saw tablets of stone carved by divine fire. He saw altars, priests, and sacrifices, the blood of bulls and goats flowing as a shadow of greater atonement yet to come. He saw the tabernacle, its curtains embroidered with cherubim, the ark gleaming with gold, the mercy seat overshadowed by wings. But he also saw Israel's weakness. Even at Sinai, while the mountain still blazed, the people shaped a golden calf and bowed to it. Moses descended with fury, smashing the tablets, his face burning with wrath. Yet he interceded, pleading for mercy. The angel sighed. "So it has always been, Moses. Israel stumbles, yet rises again. They break covenant, yet are restored. For the Eternal is patient, bound to his word across Jubilees. Moses beheld himself striking the rock for water, lifting the serpent of bronze, enduring the murmurings of the people. He saw the wilderness stretch long, 40 years of wandering, until a generation perished. But through it all, the covenant endured like fire beneath ashes. At last, from Sinai, the vision widened. Moses saw beyond himself. The people entering the land promised to Abraham, tribes settling beneath banners, kings rising and falling. The law remained their compass, and the Jubilees their measure of time. The angel said, "You, Moses, are part of this story. You are the servant who received the hidden chronicles to teach Israel that history itself is not random, but written, divided by Jubilees. Every trial, every deliverance, every generation belongs to the tapestry of covenant." The vision dimmed, leaving Moses trembling upon the very mountain where he now stood, the echo of Sinai mingling with the present fire. The angel's face grew radiant, and the vision carried Moses beyond his own days, into the unfolding ages of the world. "Moses," he said, "hear now the destiny of Jubilees until the end." Moses beheld Israel entering the land promised to Abraham. Cities rose, vineyards flourished, and altars smoked with sacrifice. Judges ruled, each man doing what was right in his own eyes, until the people cried out for a king. Saul stood tall, chosen yet faltering. Then came David, shepherd and warrior, the sweet singer of Israel. His harp resounded in palaces and deserts alike, his psalms rising like incense. The angel whispered, "From David's line shall come the true king. Though generations must pass before his day." Moses saw Solomon, wise and splendid, raising the temple in Jerusalem, its courts glittering with gold. But he also saw idols creeping into its courts, the hearts of kings divided, the people torn in two, Judah and Israel, brother against brother. Prophets arose, their voices burning like torches. Elijah called down fire on Carmel. Isaiah saw the throne high and lifted up. Jeremiah wept over the ruins. Yet still the people stumbled, chasing after gods of wood and stone. The angel's tone darkened. Because they forsook the covenant, exile came. The Babylonians carried them away. Their temple burned, their land desolate. But even in exile, the promise did not die. For after 70 years, they returned, rebuilt walls, restored the altar, and waited for the day of redemption. Then the vision leapt forward. Moses beheld centuries flowing like a river. Empires rose and fell, Persians, Greeks, Romans. Israel endured under their shadow. scattered yet unbroken, clinging to the law and the Sabbaths, the feasts and the Jubilees. At last, Moses saw a figure, veiled in mystery, walking amid the fullness of time. The angel did not name him, but light surrounded him brighter than the sun. Crowds followed, the sick were healed, the blind saw, the oppressed were lifted. The nations stirred, and the world shifted upon its axis. The angel said only, "In every Jubilee, the Eternal draws closer to his creation. In the last days, righteousness will blossom, and the knowledge of God will cover the earth as waters cover the sea." Moses beheld wars, kingdoms clashing, the earth trembling. Yet amid the chaos, he saw a remnant, small, steadfast, keeping covenant, awaiting the great restoration. Then the angel lifted his hand to the heavens. Stars wheeled, the sun darkened, the moon turned to blood. Trumpets sounded, echoing across creation. Thrones were set and judgment began. The books were opened, not only of deeds but of times themselves, the Jubilees written and sealed since the foundation of the world. Moses saw the righteous clothed in light, entering into rest. He saw the wicked swept away like chaff before the wind. The earth renewed, the curse broken, Eden restored. The tree of life stood once more at the center, its leaves healing the nations. And then the angel of the presence declared, "This is the end of Jubilees, the Sabbath of all creation. As 6 days were for labor, and the 7th for rest, so 6,000 years are given to the world, and the 7,000 shall be holy, a great rest, eternal and unbroken. This is the destiny of the covenant people, and the hope of all nations." Moses fell to his knees, trembling under the weight of eternity. The desert around him seemed small, Sinai but a grain of dust compared to the vision of ages. The angel touched his shoulder gently. "Rise, Moses, write all these things, that Israel may know her story, not only past but future. For the Book of Jubilees is a lamp for the generations, a witness that time itself is guided by the hand of the Eternal." The vision faded. Fire still crowned Sinai, but now it burned within Moses' heart as well. He took up the tablets, the pen and the call to record the hidden chronicle of the world, and thus the Book of Jubilees came to be, a weaving of creation and covenant, exile and hope, judgment and rest. A song written not only for Israel, but for every ear that longs to hear the rhythm of eternity. And this is only the beginning. The Book of Jubilees isn't just ancient history, it's the hidden blueprint of time itself. From creation to the flood, from Abraham to Moses, from exile to the final rest. Every Jubilee is a step toward the ultimate destiny of mankind. We've walked through the rise of nations, the struggles of prophets, the whispers of eternity. But what if I told you the timeline hasn't ended? That you and I are still living inside these Jubilees, closer to the final day than ever before? The question is, when the last trumpet sounds, where will you stand? Stay tuned, because this is not the end of the story. This is just the fire before the dawn. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next chapter might just change everything you thought you knew.